Hello, hi there. Welcome to Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a better future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. Dear listeners, in every episode, we interact with industry experts and drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn new things. Also, we share an interesting trivia or fun fact around the IT world towards the end of every episode. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. So folks, in line with Australia, United States, Europe, as of now, Canada is also one of the most sought after destinations for those planning to immigrate to another country. So today, we are going to talk about immigration opportunities to Canada. And to go over this useful topic, we are pleased to welcome Shree to our show today.
Shreelatha is a software developer with over 10 years of experience in the IT industry. She has a master's in computer science from the University of Winnipeg, and her research work was accepted and published by IEEE International Conference on Semantic Computing and the Journal of Information Security and Applications. Shree has been in Canada for the past 10 years and resides in a beautiful city called Kelowna, the land of mountains. During her free time, she likes to write her blog on theguidingvoice. So don't get confused, guys. This is D as digital, GUIDINGVOICE.com, and to platforms like medium.com. She is an avid reader and likes to read self-help and inspirational books during her free time. Shree, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. Let us get into our conversation.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I am so excited to be on this podcast.
So, Shree, let us start with your journey. How did this all start and what made you shift to Canada?
Okay, so it's 10 years backstory. So I had just completed my bachelor's in computers and I was married. And just like any 20, 25-year-old, we wanted to move out of the country, looking for better opportunities and better life. But we were not sure which country to go because there were so many options, right? You have Dubai, Malaysia, Singapore, US, Australia. So we had to do a little bit of research. At that time, immigration was booming in Canada. They were taking in a lot of people from Asian countries. And the next thing was we were so close to Big Apple, so easy to go to US. So if you have a Canadian citizenship, well, it takes some time to get your Canadian citizenship. But then if you do, under the NAFTA deal, you get to work under a TN visa. So basically, it's just once you have your offer letter, you can just fly there kinds. It's not like you have to go through a whole deal of process. And then 10 years back, Australia had a lot of racism. And when compared to that, Canada was pretty much peaceful country. And then recession, the 2008 recession hadn't affected Canada much. So these were some of the topics, some of the things which made us to finalize on Canada.
With your past 10 years association or staying in Canada, how is the work culture in Canada?
Oh, work culture is excellent. That's one thing I love about working in Canada. So most of the companies here have time flexibility. So basically you can log in at your preferred time, especially when you're in an IT job. I'm not talking about the labor jobs. So the expectation is you will be here for 8 or 9 hours duration. You are responsible for your work. So there's no one literally sitting and watching you all the time. And any profession, they try and accommodate your family needs. They know that you have a family. They know that you have kids. People fall sick, right? So they allow you to work from home or they allow you to take time off and things like that.
Shree, having been there at 10 years, what do you like most about Canada?
Oh, there are a lot of things I love about Canada. But first, I think it's a very, very beautiful country. The nature is at its best, I must say. People are very friendly and welcoming. There is no division of labor. The other thing I would like to mention is the numerous policies the government has, right? So let's say, for example, I'll talk about employment insurance, where if a person gets laid off from their job or they have to take some time off to care for somebody in the family who's very sick, you get paid to cover your basic needs. Like, say, for example, in a month, they pay you around $2,000, right? Which will cover your rent or, some part of your basic needs, things like that. And then I live in a province called British Columbia, and every province has a program called Work BC. So for BC, it's called Work BC. So what they do is they try and help people to get to workforce quickly and very easily. So they'll have sessions, they will help you with your resumes, they'll help you to network with people, they'll get your resumes across to companies. So they try and make it easy for the people. And when new people come in as immigrants, it's so hard, right? It's a totally different change from country to country. So they make your transition very smooth and easy. They will have some English programs, or they will ask you to volunteer with some groups and things like that.
That sounds so interesting, and it is very clear that people at Canada are very flexible and supportive to other nationals. So now can you explain the process of immigration to Canada?
Sure, there are a couple of ways in which you can come to Canada. The first one I would say is express entry, or it's also where Canada is looking for skilled laborers. So they have a big list of around 47 or 48 professions which are considered as skilled laborers, and Canada is always looking for people. And it's based on a point system, just like you have your H1 visa in your US. And then engineering is considered a skilled labor. So you can apply under the system and you will basically be invited to come into the country. And there's something called as provincial nominees. Okay, so let me put this. In Canada, the state is called province. Like you have states in India, we call it as provinces. So when I say provincial nominees, it's basically every province in Canada has their own rules. They can invite people from other countries to come and work. So under each province, they will have specific rules. And if you're eligible, you can apply and you can come and stay in the province. And there is startup visa program, which is basically to encourage people to come and start up companies in Canada. The next is study and work. This is the most common, and that's how I came to. So you can take up studies in Canada, like certificate programs or master programs. And then based on the duration of your study, you get work permit to stay in Canada, and then you can find a job. The other things are like refugees and family sponsorship. For more detailed information, I would suggest people go to the site www.cic.gc.ca. It's very clear on how to immigrate, what's the eligibility criteria, and it's all black and white. I must say it's all black and white. There's nothing in gray. It's basically if you say you have point A, and if you're eligible, if you have point A, you're eligible. That's as easy it is.
Shree, it sounds really a transparent and skill-based evaluation. Yeah, that is really good to know. With your experience with Canada for the last 10 years, can you please share with our audience on some of the tips that will help them to have successful immigration to Canada?
Absolutely. I think first important point is English skills. They are very important. Like if you're going towards the east, like Montreal or New Brunswick, they focus more on the French. But then as you move west, the central and west part, it's English. But still, if you have to come to Canada, you need your IELTS and TOEFL. So I'm saying just get some coaching. Everyone needs it. And once you're here, you need to network with a lot of people. Be ready to volunteer locally because it adds a lot of value to your resume. People value it so much. I can't stress it enough because volunteering is considered so good for you. And you have to be positive, which I shouldn't have to say. And then the other thing I would say is get a job, right? As quickly as possible. You have to pay your bills, right? Because you know that people from India, it will be very hard for them to support you. So just get a job. And then if you are also studying, it's very important you focus on your studies and complete it on time, because your work permit will be based on that. So it's very important you focus on your studies too. Don't lose your focus, again, I want to say. And then if you're coming as a student, you need to do your research, a lot of research before coming in. Yeah, these are some tips, I think.
They are really helpful. So Shree, you already touched upon the opportunities that we can focus on. Can you please throw some light on the broad level opportunities for both student community and the experienced professionals?
Okay, can you believe that around 1.7 lakh people come to study here in Canada every year? It's a big number, yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are certificate courses, master courses that you can apply for. And I would say don't go for privatized institutions to start off, because you don't know a lot about these institutions. So they might promise you so many things. And then once you come here, you might get into a lot of issues. I have seen people going through a lot of problems because you might not get work permit and things like that, which you're not aware of initially, right? And then if you have experience in India, it will be considered here, and it is good if you have an experience. Focus on your soft skills, and the companies prefer team players, proactive and honest people. It will be greatly appreciated if you put your company and team interest ahead of yours. So it's always the team and the company need before you. So I think it's a little bit different in perspective when you compare it to India. I think Indians are more very, very competitive, and you want to put yourself first, but then it's different in Canada where you have to put others' needs first.
Yeah, I think it is the need of the hour and the culture and the expectations in the professional organization, and all those things get into the mix, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I have a question for Sudhakar. Sudhakar, sure. Can you tell me how many Indian origin ministers are in Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's cabinet?
The last I remember there were 2, so I will go with 3 now that you asked the question. I remember Mr. Harjit, he was the Minister for Defense or Home Security, and Navdeep was for Technology. I remember 2.
Yes, so we have 4 now. So it's like you said, Harjit Sajjan, Minister of National Defense, Navdeep Bains, Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, and there is Pardesh Chaggar, Ministry of Diversity, Inclusion and Youth, and the most recent was Anita Anand, Minister of Public Services and Procurement. So there are 4 of them in the cabinet. We are big. Yes, Indians are big. Now, question to Naveen, okay?
Easy one, please.
Yeah, sure. Can you tell me how big is Canada when compared to India?
Can I pass this? Probably I'll take a stab. Is it like 4 times the size of India?
Yes, kind of. It's 3 times India, but then the population, listen to the population. Canada's population is 38 million. It's around 3.8 crore when compared to 1.2 billion population of India.
1/30th or something, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So Shree, one general question, not necessarily from Canada immigration standpoint.
Right.
You have studied in India, you continued your studies in Canada, you have seen the world. What are some tips that you want to share with our students and young professionals that are aspiring to grow in their careers? Something that is universally accepted, universally required.
Yeah, sure. I should tell this, that when I came to Canada, even after so many years, people would ask me this question, right? How can we go abroad, right? But then I would tell them, irrespective of where you want to go, your English is very important, like your IELTS or your TOEFL. And most people just drop the idea that they would say, oh yeah, forget it, right? So I just want to encourage youngsters to not get discouraged by it. I would say, like, if you have completed a 4-year bachelor's, then English test is just a couple of months of preparation, right? So don't get discouraged. Just get some coaching. I think it's just a matter of getting some coaching. The other factors is, see, when you leave your country and go to another place, you will be totally alone without family and friends. So it's easy. It's very easy to feel lonely, and you feel like leaving everything and going back because you start missing the food, you start missing the colors, the festivals, your people, right? But then it's so important to have your focus why you came here. And I can say that with respect to Canada, I can say that it's a very cold country, right? Like weather-wise, give or take 6 months in a year, it's cold. Like even now, the temperature here might be around 1 or 2 degrees. Yeah. That's doing good, right? And then actually, this is a good weather temperature for winter, 1 or 2 degrees. There are like Winnipeg, it's around minus 15 now, I think. Wow. Right? And when there is a lot of snow, believe me, when you have just white everywhere, it gets very depressing. You don't see a lot of people outside. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same for any country. Like even UK gets cold, right? It's believe me, it's so cold, so windy too there.
And also rain.
Yes, exactly. So it can get very depressing if you allow it to. And then I think the final thing is when you go into a new country, you will have to start working at a restaurant or a gas station to pay your bills. So it's not just about you. Everyone does it. I have done it. I've worked at a restaurant, right? And it's not about the question of ego or your family status or your family background. Like in India, you have that, right? Oh, you can't do this job or you can't do that job based on your education, based on your family things. But when you come abroad, there's nothing like that. There's no division of labor, like I said. So be prepared for that. You be prepared mentally to get into any job that you find. Mm-hmm. Always remember your goals. Don't lose your perspective. And believe me, once you have a job in your profession, your life gets way, way better and you can do a lot for your family, for your community. Then I'll say your time is respected, your life is respected, and the efforts will pay off. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shree, for joining us today. It was indeed a great conversation on overall experience of living abroad, especially in Canada, and of course, the tips that you have given on the immigration steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. It was so lovely to talk to you.
Thank you, Shree. Appreciate all the insights and your time.
No problem at all.
To know more about our speaker and the content, visit or follow us on social media. We are available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, Pinterest, and also on YouTube. Just search for The Guiding Voice and then follow, like, subscribe to us, and please share within your network. Also, please feel free to email us at The Guiding Voice for You. That is TheGuidingvoice 4 as a digit, U as a letter at gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on India number 9494587187. Again, it is India number 9494587187, and we will be happy to collaborate with you.
All right. So it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about astronauts. The astronauts of Apollo 11 couldn't get life insurance. So instead they signed photographs so that their families could auction them in case if the landing went wrong. But it's good that the mission was successful and the families didn't get a chance to auction those. Interesting, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Be safe. Until next time. Bye-bye.